Well, that's good. Hello.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Jane said to say hello.
Oh, good.
She's about to leave and get her haircut.
Okay. Yeah. Are you coming to say hello too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a sweetie guy. Yes.
Mango loves you.
Yes.
How's Jane doing?
I saw her last week. She's doing okay.
Yeah.
We need to go out and have a lunch with her. She's struggling.
Yeah. Oop. Hi, Carol. It's a shame you don't like cats.
Oh, it is. Isn't it just terrible? It's so terrible.
She is definitely a female lover.
Hi,
Oh.
Jen. How are you?
Pretty good. No.
Good. Great. Great. So I was telling David we need to take Jen out there. I saw her last week. She's struggling.
Yeah, well, what week?
Next week.
Hi, Carol.
I got some free time. Until
There you go. Okay, I'm unmuted.
oh,
How are you, Carol?
How are you, Carol?
Fine, thank you, David. Oh, I see. Is that Moki making her appearance?
No, that's Mango.
No, that's Mango.
Oh, Mango. Okay.
Monkey's outside.
He's outside.
Oh gosh. Oh,
It is. I love that spot.
So,
Okay. Yes.
yeah,
All right.
he insists on going outside.
beautiful. Oh goodness.
Hi, Carol.
Okay.
You haven't solved your problem,
Linda.
Carol.
You haven't solved your problem, Carol.
No, I'm going to. Let's see.
Good morning.
Morning, Joanne. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine.
I set my alarm. I don't do this for the other
Okay.
class. I don't know, but I set my alarm for 2 minutes of as a recording reminder, right? So I just
Yeah.
got on and it's being recorded. But last week in the middle of my nonviolence training, it went off.
And
The alarm's going off in my
did that cause
alarm's
violence?
going off in my- yeah. Like we were working on strategies. That's funny. Anywho.
Anywho, well, good
Right, here
morning,
we are.
good morning, good morning, good morning. So,
Lovely sounds this morning.
I'm sorry?
Lovely sound.
Ah,
We
good.
don't always get the richness of the sound online, but that was rich.
No, I had remembered to adjust that. So, questions on heaven and earth. How's your practice of heaven and earth?
I have a question. Last week you again mentioned that I'm still doing the Taoist spine stretch style instead of the bend the bow and shoot the arrow. And I and I really focused on that this week, and I don't think I've got it. So when we do it, if you wouldn't mind thinking of maybe I do have it and I just don't feel it right. But
I will certainly look at you. Do you have a question about it?
it's well, when you do the bend,
Mm-hmm.
are you feeling the same kind of stretching that you're doing out of the Taoist spine stretch? Are you feeling that kind of elongation and then return to that?
Well, it doesn't feel exactly the same by any means because you're bending from the middle and not from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were doing the Taoist spine stretch, we were really focusing on more the physical aspect. So
Okay.
opening up the spaces between the vertebrae.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
At this point, we assume you already can do that,
Okay.
and greater or lesser degree. But really, here you're beginning to focus on how you move energy through the spine.
Okay.
So, what's kind of interesting is that, however, that like the Taoist spine stretch, when you bend, you're focusing on the posterior side of the spine, and when you straighten, you're focusing on the anterior side.
Okay. Okay.
So, the energy, however, in those movements, if you in the bend, if you add twisting outward,
Mm-hmm.
it helps. If you're not already doing it, it helps to move the energy downward.
Okay.
And if you twist inward when you're straightening, it helps to move the energy upward.
Okay.
So the twisting is as important here as it always is in every movement we make.
Right.
But at this point, the bend the bow and shoot the arrow is really beginning to focus on the energy that you're moving through the spine, not simply the physical movement.
Okay. Okay.
Does that?
Yeah. It tells me where. I think it tells me where I need to go. I need to
Yeah.
move beyond that thinking of just the physical, and be able to layer in the next
Yeah.
couple bits.
And the thing here is, unlike the Taoist spine stretch, you have to be careful that you don't overbend the neck. It still needs to extend to crane neck, and first it extends straight, and then when you go down, it begins to bend forward. But it has to bend in relation to what the sacral area does. So it's the what often happens is the sacrum can only bend a little bit, and we bend the spine, the neck too much. So you have to really try to feel how to equalize that, and it's a relationship of a small movement and a larger movement to each other.
Okay.
Does that may help too? I don't know.
Well, yeah, because that's one of the things that I find is that as I'm straightening up, as I'm coming out of that,
Yep.
I find that it is out of sync.
Yeah.
And so
And that's one of the important parts of the practice of that is learning to get that relationship to equalize so that they both bend and straighten at the same and complete at the same time. So
but
that
not at the same tempo, really.
No, not at the same tempo.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, as with all our other movements, you're looking at how do I round those transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very easy to straighten and bend and straighten and bend, whereas you want to find how do I get that to transition smoothly from one to the other.
Yeah. To flow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Either of you have a question about that?
No, but those are always good reminders.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is do 10 repetitions of heaven and earth, and I will watch what you're doing and see if I can help you in any way.
Okay.
And since we're talking about the spine, I'm going to ask you to turn sideways to the camera, your camera,
Yep.
so that I can get some idea of what's happening with your spine. And you too, turn sideways towards me.
Oh, trying to get it.
Think of bending from the middle at the bottom. Ah. Okay. So one thing I would say is all three of you are bending the shoulders and head too far forward.
We're bending it what?
Too far forward.
Oh, okay.
You're all a little different. So let me talk about. I'll talk about
Each of us.
You're all individuals. So I'll talk about your
Good.
one. So Linda was just saying that she was feeling a blockage in the middle of her back, and while you were certainly not pushing the sacrum back. You could see something happening that was causing you to urge the head and the shoulders further forward, and also continue to extend the head. So from the very beginning, the head extends and it stays extended, but it doesn't have to bend very much. It has to bend in relation to what you're doing at the sacrum. So if you can do that movement of the sacrum without any tension way under, well, then the head and neck could be more. But if you're doing a little, then the head and neck has to be small to balance it. And none of you should be tucking the sacrum and bending the shoulders forward, which I was seeing happening. And two more things for Linda. One is in that first preparatory movement, you've got the twisting, but it's really important to bend the arms or you don't have any place to extend from. So you were twisting your arms very nicely there, but they were already extended, so all they could do is lift, not extend. And in 3, again, remember that you're sinking all the way through until the fingertips drop.
Oh, yep, I'm starting to early.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Carol, the big thing for you is to really find how to bend from the middle of the back and not push the sacrum back.
Yeah.
The sacrum goes straight down with a bend, but it's going downward. It's not going backward. So that's really important to the whole movement. And so Carol, I would say that was the big piece for you, is finding how to not push the shoulders and the head forward and the sacrum back. That's not the movement we're trying to find here.
So David, the sacrum does not tuck, correct?
It does tuck.
It does tuck.
It
Okay.
does tuck, but it doesn't tuck and go backward.
I got it.
Don't tuck it in. Yeah, don't tuck it in. Tuck it, but got it now. Yeah.
I mean, it's as if you were going to sink straight down.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you tuck the sacrum and sink straight down.
Okay.
So that
yeah.
part of the movement stays the same.
Okay.
Um,
And then my shoulders and head not so far forward, correct?
Not so far forward.
Okay.
Yeah. And Joanne, you were keeping your sacrum in very good alignment, but had the shoulders and head going too far forward.
Okay.
So what that means is that you're bending at a lower point than the middle of the spine. So you have to find where is the middle of your spine? It's up here somewhere.
Yeah.
so that the movement is not very, doesn't have to be very big, but needs to be coordinated. Yeah. Questions?
Trying that out. Would you mind doing
I had a,
Sure.
I can't tell.
So don't worry about the arms. Just get that extension of the head and the coordination of the tucking of the spine. And I'm deliberately keeping the movement small because you don't need to make it large. You can, later on, you can let it be bigger, but it doesn't have to start out that way. Okay?
Okay.
Carol or Joanne have a question?
No, I was just aware of my pace. Trying not to, I feel like at the beginning I have a good pace. I was a little worried to the end that I speed it up and then really slow it down as my hands are going down. But I don't know whether that was whether you noticed that or whether that just seemed to come to me as I realized that as we drop our hands and let them drop slowly, that was in juxtaposition to how they got to that point.
Yeah, you did have a little bit of a tendency in doing this movement.
Yes. Yep. Wrapping it
go
fast. Yep.
And this is slow. Depends how quickly
slow.
Your hands release. Hands
I just need to go slower as I wrap them around. Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anything else for you?
For me.
Okay.
Good.
So,
David.
questions about your meditation practice?
Yes, David. I had a question on the notes from last week.
Mm-hmm.
The section, the physical signs of sinking the chi. I'm not sure I understand the second point where you said sinking the chi through an alignment. I'm not sure I'm getting what that means.
Uh-huh.
You want you want to keep the appropriate alignment because that allows the chi to sink. So you're sinking it through the alignment. If your alignment is off, your chi won't go. I mean, in a very simple thinking of that is that something as simple as collapsing your midriff will make it very difficult to sink the chi.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's just a matter of maintaining the correct alignments, your correct alignments, which includes not tensing up. So in other words, we don't want to be very straight and tense and tight because that just blocked it also. So you have to allow yourself to drop into that basic structure and find how can I sink my chi? When can I feel it begin to drop all the way through my body into the
Mm-hmm.
Did that?
It does, David. So in a seated position, then, does that make it harder for the chi to go to your feet?
Not if you have the correct alignments.
So that bend at the hip doesn't impede the sinking of the chi then in a seated position.
Well, while you can do bend the bow in the seated position, basically when we're at this stage of our meditation, we're not bending.
Oh, no, what I mean is that in a seated position, I just felt like when you're standing, it's much easier to get the chi to sink to the feet. When you're seated, your body is bent at the
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
actually, so that's why it's important to maintain all your alignments, um, particularly when you're seated. Um, so all the things that can get in the way, tensing up the feet, not relaxing the qua, letting the midriff close. When you're simply seated and meditating, letting the armpits close, letting the jade gate, the base of the skull where it joins the spine, letting it collapse. That closes off the energy. So your alignments are really the same when you're seated. It's just that you're seated instead of standing. And the bend at the qua doesn't necessarily inhibit the flow of the energy if you don't let it close. I just closed my qua. You're not going to be able to see that very
No,
much. But I
no.
just closed my qua and then I opened it. And I can feel the energy change when I do that. Okay?
That answers my question, David. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else for either Joanne or Linda? Okay.
No.
So, Mango has joined the class. um, so we're going to look today again and do a little meditating on the four conditions. You're going to get disturbed, Mango. So when a person has a blockage inside, the basic issue is, how do I know I have one? So, in truth, there is no real answer to this. But at the end of the day, there's a feeling and a recognition you get so that you just tangibly feel if you have a blockage. Now, in the beginning, some people are more sensitive and some people less sensitive. And some people can feel energy easily, and for some people, it's a really hard thing for them to do. So, the interpretation mechanism of how anybody experiences what they experience is, frankly speaking, a really big subject. Perceptions are very funny. How does anybody perceive anything? In one sense, you know when you find it. And this is what Taoists have used for centuries. 4 signals that if in any way, no matter how far-fetched, even if it's not exact, but somehow speaks to you, that's what's going on. So there are 4 things that can tell you if you have an energy blockage inside you. Anywhere in your 7 energy bodies. And I'm going to try to give you a sense of that again, of each one. In the end, it actually doesn't matter if it's one of them or not, or any other of 1,000 possibilities. What does matter is that you just can feel the difference between, is your energy smooth or is it not? And if it's not smooth, it's blocked. And that's okay. In the old phrase, if it's not broke, you don't want to fix it, is a good one to be aware of. Now, the first one is a sense of strength. And this is more than just physical strength. The whole inside of your body can feel well if you want to take this as a single emotional level, at a single emotional level. When people feel angry, they feel strong, whether they're strong or not. When people feel scared, they feel strong in their fear. Or if you meet an egomaniac in your life that doesn't feel strong, because the nature of the mind is that everybody feels strong about what they're fixed on. So if you are fixed on or stuck on something, you feel strong. The classic example is you're particularly noticing your breathing, if you do, and you're just feeling that you can breathe just fine. Well, you know, when things could go wrong, you're feeling that strong breath, but if we put some strong poison into the air, all of a sudden your lungs would feel very strong. There would be a sense of something there, and that's a sense of strength. But we're really talking about it more in the sense of arrogance. And arrogance, because a lot of things that are called arrogance are not. It's if a person gives off a vibe that doesn't leave enough space for you to feel you're as good as they are. But everybody knows when someone has really got super arrogance. When it just comes out and almost knocks you down from across the room. For sure, they feel strong. So arrogance is not the same, however, as self-confidence, although they can be confused with each other with really no problem. So we're not looking at strength in the sense of you can pick up 1,000 pounds. We're looking at how these qualities indicate something is blocked inside you. If you can move your hand through the air, it's not blocked. But if it ran into a piece of steel right there, then it would be blocked. And that's what we're looking at. Now the next one is tension. And tension is two things fighting inside you. The ever famous, am I right or am I wrong? Do I love or do I hate? Do I do this or do that? In other words, the yin and yang dance is at war. And that's what it means. Some yin and yang dance is at war inside you. And that's tension. Tension shows itself at a physical level in spasming blood vessels or spasming muscles, and that's obvious. Nervous tension. But what's emotional tension? When do people feel emotionally at war inside themselves? Of course, if they have that inside themselves, they can fight with anybody else also. Now, mentally, people have mental tension. You have all met people with mental tension. It's pretty common. Go on this bus or subway and just look at people's faces, and you can see it everywhere. And it goes further. Karmic tension is a real condition, but it doesn't really matter. It's just another kind of tension. And remember, you don't have to understand what it is. You just have to recognize it. So you do not have to put a label on it, and you don't have to describe it, and you don't have to have any kind of description of it. A blockage is there, or everything is smooth, and there's nothing more to it than that. Now the next one is the one that is very hard for a lot of people, because if you're the type who is on the torture table and you would rather be tortured than get off the table, then you always want to understand what's going on. This one is put very simply. Something is just not quite right. Something is just a bit off, but you don't know what it is. You have no idea what it is. And everybody gets conditioned in the womb when their mother was pregnant. If someone screamed at your mother, or if someone hit your mother, if your mother went through any one of who knows how many things, everything she went through was communicated to you, and you could distort it, and you will never understand it, because you were at the point where you were taking things straight in to a neurological, energetic level. They can understand feelings, they can understand imprints, but not words. A child has to be 1 or 2 years old before they understand words. Now, a lot of people have birth traumas from when they were born. Anything could happen. Have you any idea what one would have gone through in a 40 or 50-hour labor? Lots of things can occur. Lots of things that come up in people's dreams are because of things like that are never processed. So something is not quite right. It doesn't even have to go to the level of something is seriously screwed up, but I don't know what it is. It doesn't have to go that far. But that's a very, very important blockage. And it's framed the way it's framed because it is about as vague as you can get, and still it encompasses billions of sensations that you can go through. But they are all coming from something very, very deep inside. And it's buried, and it's hidden from your normal conscious mind. The last but not least is always the difficult one, that's called contraction. We all know what a muscular contraction is, and we're not going to go into energetic contractions because that involves going very deeply into traditional Chinese medicine. Too much for this moment. But what about emotional contraction? When you meet someone with real emotional contraction, they are usually shut down, and that's it. They're not capable of having a decent relationship with a cat or a dog, much less a person. And when a person is contracted enough, they don't recognize most of what happens in their emotional life. Now, when you get people who are contracted mentally, they are operating from this is what we do and that's the only way that we do it. So everyone is going around them, but still that's the way it must be done. Wonderful. In the normal events of life, you take tension in contraction and it's a big problem. But what is the biggest thing of the modern age? At least if you read all the magazines and look on the internet, the biggest business is pornography. Pornography is kind of a problem because it's not sex. It's people having sex with images. But leaving all that aside, it's just image. No one actually enjoys them. So all these blockages are very primary because they go through every level of your being. When you dissolve, you don't need to understand what they might be tied to, because they could be tied to 10,000 different things inside you. So in a moment we're going to again go from the top of the head and down to the bottom, to the dantian, and what we want to do is scan and try to recognize these blockages. How? Now understand this. It is the single most important point. It's not that these four things are anything. They are just ways of beginning to recognize what energy feels like when it's blocked inside you. If you can feel very well to begin with, you don't need these four. It's just going to be obvious that there are markers in the sense of a blind person who has a cane. If you hit this thing and it makes that kind of a noise, it probably means it's the floor. And if you hit that thing and it makes that kind of noise, it probably means it's a wall. But if you hit this and it's a dog and you don't want to do it again, well, they are just big markers. And at the end of the day, why does a blind person have a cane? So that they can have some idea how to walk and keep standing up. Same thing with blockages. You only want to be able to recognize them so you can go, oh, there it is. Now I need to dissolve it. But without the recognition that something is blocked, what are you going to do? Go right by it. Out of sight, out of mind. So you have to recognize what the situation is if you are going to actually apply your energy toward resolving it. If you can't recognize a situation, you're never even going to try to be able to resolve it. So I want you just to sit and think about your structure as we talked a little bit earlier. And I'm just going to talk you through each of these 4 things to try and help you recognize them. And if you get to the point where you can recognize what a blockage feels like, then just keep looking for them, because this is what you're going to do the entire time with the dissolving process. You have a blockage, poof, it's gone. And now you go on to the next one. So settle in. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. Make sure that your feet are flat on the floor and your spine is straight. And you're just sitting, and you've settled into this spot like an old cat in the sunlight on its cushion, but not collapsed. That's where you are, and you don't need to go anywhere else. Let your mind settle on your body. Let it begin to simply connect to and settle into your body. Until your body and your mind, settling on your body, merge and become one. And let your awareness settle on your mind, which is settled on your body. So let whatever, your awareness, your mind, your consciousness, just settle on whatever that thing is that's allowing you to be aware of what's going on. You'll know it when you find it, but calling it something is not really the point. Let your mind settle on your mind and your body, and just simply allow yourself to start going inside your mind, inside your body, inside your flesh. And now just recognize any sense of energy that's inside your body. It's always there. Some sense of the energy is there. Just begin to notice and recognize and become aware of the energy inside you. Just feel it. Don't think about it. Don't make a picture of it. Feel it. You have a body. You may not keep it all that long. And while you are here on this earth, the ability to feel energy is a unique circumstance of being in a heavy gravity field. It's unique. If your consciousness continues, and you're non-corporeal, guess what? It's gone. And now that you can feel the energy inside your body, let your mind go to the very top of your head and simply start moving downward in all directions, front, sides, and back, and to feel something that has a sense of strength. And then starting again at the top of your head, feeling for any sense of tension, two things fighting inside of you. The sense of this energy could be physical, or it could just be an energy running inside your body. It could be the energy that creates your emotions. Or it could be the feeling of the energy behind thought. And those of you who happen to be a bit more conscious, it might be the feeling of psychic energy. The energy that comes into you that you recognize before things actually enter the earth, before events begin to happen. But it's actually already in play. Sometimes it could be that you can recognize the energy of karma. But it is there, and it is going to unravel and create situations and places and times and events that will involve you. And it could even be the energy of your essence, which is not going to be very conscious. But if you feel the blockage, maybe something needs to be released. So any sense of tension, two things fighting with each other. And then again, maybe the blockage is a sense of something that doesn't feel quite right, especially if you don't know what it is. That thing that hangs in the back, which either is connected very deeply to many, many layers inside, or to conditions that already exist. Or maybe it's even something that your intuition is naturally connected to, without you even knowing what it's about. Many blockages that you can feel may not be ones that will come out before a long period of time has passed. But when they arise and you can release them, then they never have to come out in real time, in the real world. Something that doesn't feel quite right, especially if you don't know what it is. Continue scanning down your body. And if you find a blockage, just recognize that it's there. The first step is not to do anything with it. It is simply to recognize if it is there. Because if you recognize what the problem or issue is, then you can do something about it. But if you don't recognize what it is, you can't. It's just that simple. And now we go to the final one, a sense of contraction. Every time a human being makes a mini identity, they cause the mini ego, and every mini ego is contracted. And that is part of its essential nature. If it were open, it would not be an ego. It would just be a perception, or an opinion, or something that seems that way. But once you take it on, and it becomes what you think you are, it takes on a life of its own. And that's contracted. Contracted emotions, contracted thoughts, contracted mind. The mind that is contracted can never truly become creative. Emotions that are truly contracted can never have happiness as a natural background of their life. Release the contraction and you release the freedom the contraction is blocking. just continue and notice how if the energy anywhere inside you is not smooth, if it has any quality of strength or tension, something that doesn't feel quite right, especially if you don't know what it is, or any sense of contraction, these are blockages. Whether you can feel the energy concretely or not, these are blockages. It is only a matter of time before you can feel the chi itself. Let's continue scanning downward. So allow yourself to pause and we'll begin to close. Make sure your hands are really warm. Allow them to relax the eyes and the optic nerve and right into the brain centers. As you sweep upward, really feel the two Laogong points connect to Bai Hui. And then pulling down at the extent of your etheric body. Condense that energy into your heart. And draw it down to the Dantian. energy flow into your heart. And then move down to your dantian. Really try to be aware of your etheric body. Just begin to feel that. Sending all benefit gained from this practice out to help all the sentient creatures of the universe, which remember includes you as well. Last minute thoughts or questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good week. Remember to meditate.
Thank you, David. Have a good week.
Yeah, very good. Thanks you. Good class.
Yes,
See
it
y'all
is.
next week.
Okay,
Great.
see you all. Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Just like at home, I had my helper.
Yes, you did.